Hi friends, this is Lady Flora, and I thought that maybe I would do another pregnancy update for you guys. I'm 38 weeks as we speak, and that seems pretty close, although both of my children were born at 41 weeks. So if you look at it that way, it's not really that close. This is my third birth. If you're new to this channel, I have two children. I have Songbird, who is 6 years old, and we are homeschooling her, and I have Man Cub, who is 3 years old. We make lots of other videos on this channel about homeschool curriculum reviews and homeschool adventures and day in the life videos, so if you're interested in that, you can subscribe. So I'll start by comparing my son's birth and my daughter's birth. My daughter's oldest, and with her birth, apparently I was in labor for about 12 hours. I think it might have been longer, but we'll say active labor for about 12 hours. The time that I called the birth center, you know, the time where the contractions were, you know, close together and regular, that time until she was born was 12 hours. She was born at 41 weeks and 3 days. And she was 6 pounds and 13 ounces. She was also born with her arm around her neck like this. So I had a little elbow in my back. But we had no complications except for that, which really wasn't a complication at all. And didn't have to transfer. It was at a birth center. There was no option for any epidural or Pitocin or anything like that. There was, I don't think I had the option to do nitrous oxide at the time. I was in the tub partially, and then the midwife, I think she must have felt that it was slowing down my labor too much or something. And my water didn't break until very shortly after she was born, or shortly before she was born. Probably about an hour before she was born. I don't remember that there was transition. I don't think I experienced transition. Also, I should say that we induced using a natural method called membrane stripping, where the midwife carefully separates the amniotic, a little bit of the edge of the amniotic sac from the wall of the uterus. Something like that. It sounds sort of strange, but that was what they did, and it worked pretty well. My son's birth, Man Cub, was similar but different. His birth took a total of 3 hours. I was in labor for 3 hours and definitely experienced transition. But many other things were the same. He was born at 41 weeks and 4 days. We did not induce, but we were getting to the point where we would have needed to induce. In fact, I think we even had an appointment set up with the birth center where we were going to go in and, you know, talk about some natural inducing methods, but we never actually did that because he was born before that appointment. He came before that appointment. So labor with him was 3 hours long. Did I say that already? I don't know if I said that already. But yeah, it was just like a normal day. My mother-in-law, who must have this amazing sixth sense, came into town. She lives several hours away, so she came into town that day and spent some time with us, brought us some baby clothes, and just you know, wanted to be there for us, which was really nice. We went for a walk together that night with my daughter in the stroller, and during the walk I felt kind of funny. Like, I don't know how else to explain it. It's just to say that I felt funny. Like, it wasn't like I was feeling contractions or even a lower backache or anything like that. It wasn't like the kind of thing you would be like, oh, that's a classic sign of labor. But I just felt funny, and so every once in a while during our walk, I would just have to stop. But nobody was really concerned because, you know, I was at the end of the pregnancy anyways. I was very large. I was obviously tired. So no one was like, oh my gosh, you're in labor. But I wonder now if I was. So then we went home after the walk, and we all went, everyone was going to bed, and my husband and I are just talking. And as we're talking, I start to have contractions. And you know, it's the kind of contractions that just make you pause for a little second and just be like, okay, that just happened. And then, you know, that was sort of exciting, but again, my daughter had been 12 hours of labor, and before that, irregular contractions. So I didn't expect that these were real contractions, or that they were going to lead me into real labor. In fact, we even talked, and I was like, this might be our last night of good sleep for a while. So but very quickly I started to not be able to talk through the contractions. So we tried timing them, which seems kind of silly now in hindsight. And I don't even remember what the numbers are. I want to say it's 411 or 511, like 5 minutes apart, 1 minute long for 1 hour. Please don't quote me on that, because that's probably not right, but it was something like that. Anyways, we called the midwife, and she was like, just come right in. She wanted to hear me have a contraction on the phone, which is always a little bit awkward. I don't really like talking on the phone anyways. Especially when I'm not feeling very well, but anyways, so she was like, yeah, come in. So we started putting stuff in the car, and that seemed to take a long time. I don't know why, but it did. And then we put my daughter in the car, who was sleeping, bless her. She stayed asleep. Love this girl. The whole way we drove to my parents' house. It wasn't really that far, but we drove to their house. Then we got, you know, we handed my daughter over to them, so she was going to stay at their house for a few days. And I don't know, I guess we talked to them a little bit. I don't know. I was in the car. I felt like I was going to throw up. I think I was in the middle of transition. We just didn't realize it was all happening so fast. So husband got back in the car. We drove 25 minutes, you guys. 25 minutes to the birth center. And we got to the birth center, and like, it was so great to be there. And I remember getting out of the car, I'm just having a contraction right there. And then the contraction's over, and I'm like, okay, let's go in. And I'm walking in, and I stop, and I lean against the wall, and I have a contraction right there leaning against the wall. And this is kind of late in the evening, so this is probably 11 or 12. And then they've got the tub all set up for me, and it's warm, and I just got in the tub right away. And we had, my husband and I, we talked about how we were going to have flowers floating in the water, and that was awesome. He had all these beautiful roses floating in the tub. It was so beautiful. And we were playing the birth mix, which was this amazing mix that he made for me when I was giving birth to my daughter. And so we were playing that, and it's got songs on there by M83, and it was just very like beautiful and epic and intense and hard and mind-boggling. But my son was born, and it's literally just like everybody says. You start to think, I can't do this anymore. I don't know what I'm gonna do, but I cannot do this anymore. And then that's when they're born. And that's exactly what happened. And so he was born in the water to a very surprised, baffled mommy. My daughter's labor was intense and long, but not baffling. I would really hesitate to say painful. It was certainly hard. It was certainly a struggle, but his labor was fast and furious, and he was born, and it was wonderful. And yeah, so my midwife says third birth is somewhere in the middle, and I really hope she's right. That would be great. So my husband and I are kind of making bets. He says it's going to be 7.5 hours. I say it's going to be 6, and I think we made some bets on the date as well. So I don't remember our exact bet, but I'm guessing this child's going to be here 41 weeks and 3 days or so. And interestingly enough, my son was also born with his arm around his neck like this, and he was also 6 pounds 13 ounces. Yeah, so very excited to see how this is gonna go. I have moments where I'm just like, I can't wait, let's do it, let's go have this baby, I can't wait to be in labor. And then I have moments where I'm like, I just need to chill and enjoy this time of quiet right now. And I only have 2 kids, and they're being very sweet and peaceful, and they get along, and they're friends, and they sleep well, and I'm just gonna enjoy this for as long as it lasts, because things are about to get really crazy. So I've been going to the birth center to get these tests called non-stress tests, or NSTs, and that's pretty fun. You just listen to, you drink some juice, and then you hit a little buzzer every time you feel a kick from your baby, and they measure how many kicks and how many minutes, and it just helps them. And I have to do that once a week now. I'm really debating having her at the birth. I think it could be an amazing experience for her. She's kind of fascinated by anatomy and birth and stuff like that, but she's also can get very, she can be very empathetic, and so I think it could be very hard for her to see me in labor, and then it might be hard for me to have her see me in labor. And then I wonder, like, if I would be like holding back a little bit more, maybe because she was there. I don't know. So I'm still really on the fence about that. Kind of a once in a lifetime thing, so I'm very tempted to just say, let's just do it. I don't know. I can't decide. I'm kind of praying about it, to be honest with you, and I hope that I get a clear answer, because I don't really know what to do. I've also been going to the chiropractor, which is interesting. I don't know how I feel about that. I'm doing it because I feel like it's a good thing to do, and this chiropractor is great. They know what they're doing. They know their stuff. I don't feel tremendously different after I leave. I maybe feel a little bit sore after I leave, but mostly I just don't know why the table that they lay me on has to make so much noise. It's very like stressful to hear these like strange loud sudden noises, and I don't love it, to be honest with you, but I feel like I should do it. I feel like it's the right thing to do. I would be curious to hear what you guys think, if you use the chiropractor or if you swear by the chiropractor like some people do, I know. As far as any symptoms at 38 weeks, I don't really understand why I feel mostly fine all the time. I've been getting a little bit more tired here and there and wanting to take afternoon naps, which is how I felt at the beginning of the pregnancy. But I'm not tired all day. I'm not like fatigued, and I'm sleeping pretty all right. With my other pregnancies, my hips hurt and my thighs hurt, and I've got nothing like that. My lower back does hurt a little bit, which is weird because I know that's kind of a sign of labor, but I think I just need to stretch it more, exercise a little bit more, and maybe not sit quite so much, or not sit like badly, I guess. But otherwise, guys, I just feel fine. I feel like my face is getting sort of like wider and softer. You know, they say like as you get closer to labor, the cartilage in your body gets really soft. It goes from like the firmness of your nose to like the softness of your earlobe, and that's your body preparing to give birth. And so I sort of feel like that's starting to happen. I don't know, but it's all good, and we're excited. We're very excited around here, and my husband, my wonderful husband, is trying to figure out if we can fit 3 car seats in our back seat of our car. And now I want to hear what you have to say, so like, share, subscribe, and comment away. And after you do that, go outside and have a sublime day.